everybody. Sorry for not really uploading much in, well, a while. I had a conference thing that I had to go to. I was busy preparing stuff for that. And I was also on an incredibly tight time crunch due to me being a chud and not having time management skills. I thought the Forsaken art contest deadline was on November 27th. So I was planning to work on it more during Thanksgiving break and get it, like, actually ironed out. But as it turns out, I'm stupid and it was due on the 22nd. Which, as of right now, as of recording this, it is a day after the deadline. I do have a submission for it, but it's really bad. I redid it a little bit, but it's still really bad. And also, I did not make it to the deadline, so I was not able to submit my resubmission. Anyways, so we know what happened. We know what happened to Forsaken, and it's why I'm making this video. Forsaken got into drama once again. Roblox player base considered, it's just going to be another nothing ever happens type of deal. Forsaken is still going to have, like, a large player base. A lot of people, like, they're gonna say they quit, and then, like, 2 days later, they're gonna come back. And it's because most of the people playing Forsaken probably don't know about the drama, or don't care if they do know. However, since you guys have so kindly given me a platform to speak on, even if just a very small one compared to many others, I think it's worth an actual video on. People have been getting closer and closer to reaching their breaking point with this game ever since the whole sole 25% thing. And honestly, I am too. I genuinely am too. First, I want to get one thing across. Let's just first talk about strictly gameplay right now. Strictly gameplay. Strictly gameplay-wise, let me re-emphasize, I said this like 3 times already, but strictly gameplay-wise, Forsaken, in my opinion, has pretty much always been uphill. Some people will tell you that old Forsaken's better, some people might say this game is balanced around competitive, but I just don't see it. Again, strictly from a gameplay standpoint. Strictly from a gameplay standpoint. This is like, what, the 6th, 7th time I said this? But Forsaken was already pretty solid since when I started playing around late January to early February, and it has only gotten better from there. There are some things I don't like, for example, Noli's fake gen mechanic, literally just tripping up new players and, like, nothing else. Like, it gets countered by searching up Google and saying, like, hey, how can I tell fake Noli gens from, like, real Noli gens? And then you'll see, like, a bunch of, like, indicators that, like, as long as you check for them, it takes, like, maybe, like, a second, probably less, to ensure that a generator isn't fake. Still, gameplay-wise, Forsaken, pretty good. The only ASIM game that I've had nearly as much fun with as Forsaken is Reality Compromised. And it's not necessarily because Reality Compromised is more well-made. No. That game has a lot of jank and plenty of questionable balancing. But that game offers a completely different experience to, like, any of the other ASIMs I've played. So that's why I had so much fun with Reality Compromised. It's not because it's necessarily better than Forsaken, it's just because it's so different, it's something totally new. I've played a few other ASIM games, although the other ASIM games I've played significantly less than Forsaken. I've played Die of Death, Pwned, some Sonic.exe disaster games, ironically not Disaster itself, but Outcome Memories, the ROBLOX Until Dawn, and Dimensional Coalescence I've all played a little bit, and I've also played an old ASIM game, which is Flee the Facility. I've also tried a bit of Murderthon, although that one just feels like Dead by Daylight in a different coat of paint. However, none of these have been as fun and slick feeling as Forsaken is for me. Even after Guest 66 and Veronica, which people have been arguing are unbalanced, and just a lot of people are arguing that Forsaken is unbalanced, and I'm not going to say they're wrong, because, well, balancing is a little bit subjective. It depends on what skill level you're at. It depends on a lot of factors. But despite all of that, I still think this game is really, really fun. And probably the most good feeling ASIM on Roblox right now. I think my enjoyment of the game would completely crumble if I were competitive because, yeah, let's just face it right over here. The game does not hold up at such a high level of play, and there's no reason for the game to hold up at such a high level of play, because it should not be balanced around that. Most of the people are never going to be competitive. Like, the competitive player base is maybe like 0.1% of the player base. It should not be balanced around them. But me, as a player who is still casual, but still plays with winning in mind, like, I'm not going to pretend that I don't care about winning. I like to win, okay? I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not embarrassed to admit that. I care about winning, even though I'm still casual. And for me personally, Forsaken has always been pretty fun. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff though, because there's a lot of negatives. And I think there's a lot of stuff that is genuinely important to point out. Let's first talk about the update schedule. It is undeniable that this game takes way too long to update, and it is a miracle how this game is alive on like a platform like Roblox with such infrequent updates. Now, I get it. It takes a long time to make new characters that are actually balanced, but like you gotta keep in mind that most Forsaken players do not give a damn. Like, let's just face it, most people don't they don't care. And the people who do care about like balance and stuff, they often won't be satisfied either way. Like, no matter how hard you try, they're gonna say your character's unbalanced. They're gonna complain. You can't please them. So you will inevitably have people who compare Forsaken's update schedule to others. And if we look at like the pace at like Forsaken is releasing new characters, yeah, this game's update schedule is not very good. Let's take a look at 6er and V as an example. It took around like 3 or 4 months to release those 2 characters, and then some people will point towards Outcome Memories, which is a completely different game, I understand. And I don't think this is a valid comparison, but I'm just saying, people will compare this to Outcome Memories. And Outcome Memories is releasing like 5 characters in the same time span. I've genuinely seen people who've just said you should go play Outcome Memories instead because they actually work on their game, which is like, there's factors you need to consider in, like how Outcome Memories right now just feels completely miserable to play as EXE because every single TD game I've played, the survivability design is so bad that the killer just feels like they're getting bullied. But it's still definitely true that Forsaken's update schedule is way too slow, and once again, it's a miracle that it's still alive, even despite its, like, slow updates. Now let me talk about skins. Skins. Again and again, I've said this, but skins take way too much of the community's attention. I've seen someone, I think, on Reddit genuinely say that they're only really excited for the Strangers of the Past update because of admin Noli, which, at this point, I'm really worried about that because I'm not even sure if this is, like, just the community being stupid or, you know, just actually genuinely the game's fault. Because you have 2 entire new characters to play with, and the thing you're excited about is a single skin? Really? Like, stare at me dead in the eyes. Really? Either way, the people who say this game's skins are like Fortnite, and the game's general identity is just like Fortnite, really aren't wrong. I'm a bit better with the ROBLOX reference stuff. The only one I don't like is Fish, and that's mostly a personal thing. I cannot deny, unfortunately, that Fish is genuinely one of the most influential games on Roblox. But the off-Roblox reference skins often just feel incredibly out of place and is a major factor as to why this game's skins feel like Fortnite. Admin Noli, for as high effort as he is one of the biggest victims of this. He was never related to Roblox media in any way, coming from Minecraft Story Mode, and the appearance he takes is so faithful to Minecraft Story Mode that it just starts taking away from the identity of the game. And while I wanted the 16th Night remodel, I gotta be honest with you, I kind of am reconsidering that because it's another external reference skin, and like the remodel looks really just like Sakuya ported into, you know, the game, and it's a bit better than Admin Noli in that regard, but it still just ends up feeling out of place. Obviously, you have skins like Diva and Gull. Not necessarily saying they're like bad skins or anything, but I feel like they are still a contributing factor to this. I'm actually sort of an apologist to the Limbus Company skins. Well, mainly Hacklord. John Doe still sort of has that problem, but Hacklord, because it, like, I'm pretty sure it ties, like, Earl King Heathcliff's story. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Earl King, because my comments had to correct me, but, if I'm wrong, tell me. Earl King Heathcliff, he dressed up as, like, some, like, bunny-looking, like, dead rabbit boss. I don't know, okay, I don't play Limbus, but, Hacklord uses 1x's designs, so even though it's, like, technically a Limbus reference, I'm more of an apologist for it, because, you know, I think it's still, like, it retains enough elements of, like, Forsaken, Roblox-related stuff that, like, I'm an apologist for it, but, like, yeah, there's just so many skins They feel like they're out of place. And that's why this game feels like Fortnite. And like, don't even get me started on the fan-made skins. Koeko, how the frick do you pronounce that? Koeko made a post on Twitter basically pointing out that a lot of the Undertale and Deltarune skins have the problem of they're just the character ported directly in. And if these community skins got ported in, this game would just become Fortnite, because, like, you're just directly porting all these characters in without even including any element of the original character design. And it's also just, like, I like seeing more original designs. I like seeing these hybrid design things, and not just, oh, I'm gonna port the Roaring Knight into Forsaken. Like, just straight up, no strings attached, like, yeah. I think I've said enough. I know a lot of people will disagree. I don't care. Okay, now let's talk about everything outside of it. Community drama, people outside of the community criticizing the developer team. I would like to not talk about this, but, like, look, I have to say something about it, and I genuinely feel like I need to start, like, I feel like I need to start pointing names in the developer team, because it's like, something is happening, and it's really, really bad. Forsaken has gotten so much controversy over the span of less than a year that I just can't turn a blind eye to it. I love Forsaken as a game. A lot. Genuinely. And that's why I stood by it for so long. If I didn't care about supporting an actually good game that I had fun with and I just wanted views on YouTube, I would play like Grow a Garden, Steal a Brain Rot, 99 Nights in the Forest, Fish, whatever, and I would try to get views that way. But I don't want to force myself to get up and be like, alright, guess I'm gonna have to play Fish again and play the same minigame and pretend I'm entertained. So yeah. Forsaken is probably 1 out of 3 games on the homepage right now. That feels like there was some actual decent thought put into it. But the community and the developers, oh my god. You guys are killing me, man. Let's first talk about the developers. This game's PR has been and still is so awful, I genuinely don't know what's going on in the team. I don't know whether the developers are just crumbling under pressure or something, because judging by their socials, some people on the dev team are close to my age, which means that they're struggling with high school or college. Which, I sort of get it. I mean, I'm in high school, I'm not in college, maybe I don't actually get it, but like, I know it's a struggle, okay? I know it's a struggle. But no matter how much pressure you're in, this game trips up on their PR way too much. I'm pretty sure Basil, who is one of the co-owners of Forsaken, is also a PR lead, and she has stumbled on like 3 separate occasions. Back when Noli just dropped, people harassed Vlad for Noli's default theme, which, yeah, I don't like the theme personally, but like, come on, man. Justifiably, Basil didn't like that. But telling people to rot, no matter what position you're in, is not a good PR move. I'm sorry, I see where you're coming from. I absolutely see where you're coming from. But do I think it's over the top? Yeah, I think it's over the top. This is not a good PR move. They also fumbled the whole, like, hacklord situation, like, you know, community harassment, blah, blah, blah. Once again, I know I'm more loud, and to be frank, I will admit that I am more inflammatory on social media than I am in real life. I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to pretend like I am, but, like, some of y'all are way too comfortable on Twitter. Like, come on, man. However, like, even after all this community harassment and stuff, scrapping every Project Moon skin afterwards, once again, I absolutely see where you're coming from, but this is not a good PR move, especially considering that this is partially the developer team's own fault. And now the whole Kaiser situation, like, Kaiser's still talking to Soul, and... oh, god, dude. God. Sorry, I'm getting a headache again. One moment. Okay, yeah. Oh my god. I'm in shambles. I'm just in shambles. It was bad enough already, but it somehow got worse, because apparently they didn't even demote him because they had any moral qualms with this or anything. It was because of an FNF collab? Is this real? I need a source here, because I don't believe this is real. Like, I genuinely don't want to believe that the developers of this game would do something this silly. Like, let me get a bit personal for a second. As much as I called out names here, like, I don't like doing it. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for the devs. It's not good for the community. It's not good for me. Like, I'm covering drama, and I know that I have a digital footprint. Covering drama is the type of thing where, like, not only is it damaging to my mental health, but it's also just, like, I'd say one wrong word or even speak funny, and I get into serious trouble, and I would rather not get into serious trouble, which is why I don't cover this often. So anyways, I'm going to just talk about myself for a second. You know what the worst part of all of this is? I love this game to death. I want to be incredibly optimistic about Forsaken. And it's also partially because my success on the platform currently depends upon it. I have 108 public videos on this channel, and these 7 Forsaken videos put together have earned me more views and subscribers for me than all 101 other videos combined. Do you realize how frustrating it is for me to find a game I genuinely love to talk about and actually be able to get views off of it? Well, then the developers get into drama and allegations over and over and, oh my god, over and over again, and I can't even defend them because there's stuff they do that I genuinely can't defend them over. It's embarrassing, rage-inducing even, and I hope my voice is making that clear already. And I'm certain that there's devs on the dev team that also feel this way too. Alyssa, she wants to quit working for Forsaken, but she said she can't because of family reasons, and if I had to guess, it's because a large portion of her income is coming from Forsaken and her family more or less depends upon it. Enodarren is also still working on Forsaken. Not only do I imagine Forsaken also being a big source of income for him, but he said he wouldn't mean anything without it. I disagree with that second part. But I do understand where he's coming from, because, be honest with me, how many of you all will stay if I'm not making Forsaken content anymore? I have over 1,300 subscribers, and I have over 250,000 cumulative views on my videos, majority of which come from my Forsaken content. And I bet you the number of people amongst these numbers who actually are invested in me as a personality is in the single digits, and this is including my family members. Put yourself in my position here for a second. You've been working around with little to no success for the past 4 years on your channel, but finally, you've reached a large audience of people via something you are genuinely excited to talk about. In my case, it's Forsaken, but it doesn't have to be Forsaken for you. Just think about something you're happy to talk about. And it's getting you views. People are willing to click on your video, and they're willing to listen to what you have to say and watch what you have to offer. Or at least give you a chance. And then imagine, what if someone showed up in front of you, told you that if you continue making content on whatever it is that you're passionate about, you're now supporting an awful human being. And then they handed you 80 pages of proof. You have to be, like, mad at least somewhat, right? You have to be, like, hurt, right? Ashamed? Angry? Like, surely it has to get somewhat in your mental, right? Like, it can't just be me, right? Like, I'm sure that some of y'all watching, like, you might even be bigger than me, you've made content before, and you've experienced this exact thing. You make content on a game you genuinely enjoy, but the game gets into tons of drama. And now you see people on Twitter saying that if you support this game, you are now like, I don't know, flipping like a neo-Nazi, a pedophile, something like that, calling you awful things for playing a game. Anyways, I'm so sorry that I went on like a 10-hour rant about my emotional state. But, okay, back on track. PR in this game? Yeah, not good. And it's part of the reason why they get into so much drama. It's because their PR is bad, and people keep misinterpreting what they have to say, and people think they're lying, and I can't even blame these people, because, like, how are you not supposed to suspect them? Toko sometimes fails on his PR and stumbles on words he really should not be stumbling on. I really cannot blame the people who think Toko is hiding a lot of stuff. Again, how can I blame them? I can't. Kaiser's whole situation is just like, I sorta more or less interacted with Kaiser back when the Discord wasn't read-only. And like, I genuinely think that Kaiser is a good balancer for Forsaken. But like, how am I supposed to stand with you here, man? Because I can't. I genuinely just can't. Either way, to the developers, just know that I genuinely want to believe that you guys didn't sell your humanity. And to the people who are, or were working on Forsaken, and probably only knew about this drama after everything went public, at the same time as everyone else, I genuinely wish you all the best. Hell, I'm just a guy on the internet who enjoys playing the game. I don't financially depend on this game. If I decide to ditch this game, yes, it sucks. I'm losing a big source of my views. But by all technicalities, it's not hard for me to wipe my hands clean from this game. I'm still going to have good quality of life, I'm still going to be eating good food, and I'm still going to be sleeping on a comfortable bed, even if I stop making Forsaken content. Well, a lot of the people working on Forsaken probably depend upon it financially, more or less. And calling it quits is either a huge blow to their income, or is quite literally just not an option for them, unless they want to starve on the streets. Now let's talk about, like, community reception, and just people generally talking about this game, and discussion around all of this. People's response and reactions to all the stuff that's happening is incredibly flipping bad. Now, I'm first going to cover about Forsaken Sandbox, which is a game that people have been pushing a lot lately. Now, what is Forsaken Sandbox, really? It's basically just a stolen copy of Forsaken with a bunch of stolen animations, models, whatnot. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they stole the entire codebase too. And then they added 3 new characters on top of the base Forsaken, all with their glaring design issues. And like, my god. It's hilarious, but at the same time, it's more tragic than it is hilarious. Because the fact that the allegations in Forsaken have gotten so bad that people would unironically support a carbon copy of the game that steals a bunch of the original game's assets? Like, holy hell, what is going on, dude? Like, it's at the point where I want to laugh at people for supporting this because they're supporting a thief. But at the same time, Forsaken is literally funding a predator, and people on the team are actively talking to them. So, like, it's just sad, man. Like, I can't even argue against a stolen copy. That's where it is now, apparently. Oh, dear God. And I'll just cover a little bit of last stuff. And this is probably just relevant to drama in general. But, like, I'm going to cover it specifically in the context of Forsaken. Sometimes it feels like people are just using this drama as a stepping stone for their fame. People throwing out words like Nazi and pedophile like they're flipping buzzwords, making insensitive jokes that genuinely just should not be made around these topics. Like, holy hell, dude. There is something wrong with us. I'm going to include me in here, just to make it more personal, and also I'm covering drama technically right now, so I'm lumped in with y'all. There's something wrong with us. We need to change. Like, it genuinely feels like people are just using this as a way to gain popularity. They're trying to get attention, and that's so sad, man. They're trying to use this to gain fame and put themselves on a moral high ground. That, or they already hated Forsaken before, and now there's just another reason to justify their hate for it. And first of all, some of the people are supporting Forsaken Sandbox, which is like, okay. And second of all is that the people who are super critical about this situation, a lot of them are playing ROBLOX. Do you know what ROBLOX has been doing lately? Like, basically every ROBLOX player and their mom knows by now that ROBLOX banned Schlep. Like, you tried to stand the moral high ground so much, and then simultaneously you're on the platform that is infamous for hiding and defending groomers. So if you're playing games on ROBLOX and you're calling out Forsaken players for, you know, being pedophile defenders, someone can use that equal line of logic and say that if you play ROBLOX, you're a pedophile defender and you support grooming minors. I don't want to come to too many moral judgments here, because I genuinely don't want to turn this into a life lesson video, but morality isn't as simple as black and white. But it genuinely feels like some people are just doing this because they already had a prejudice against Forsaken, and now they have the perfect opportunity to make fun of Forsaken players. The take home here is, whether people still continue to play Forsaken or not play Forsaken, please do not harass them. Don't call them pedophile defenders. Like, I think some people also just don't realize what the weight of calling someone a pedophile defender is. And I'm going to borrow from Ball's Necrosis real quick because he words it perfectly. This stuff gets people doxxed. This stuff gets people swatted. This isn't laughing matter. You're putting lives in danger. Okay. Sorry if this is abrupt, but for the 5 of you out there that are wondering, what's going to happen to this channel onwards? Well, as I am also happening to experience Forsaken fatigue, I will most likely just stop making Forsaken videos for the time being. I am really sorry if you are here for my Forsaken content, but I really hope you can understand, and please don't attack me over it. I trust you guys because YouTube is usually very civil, but please don't attack me over it. But as I mentioned before, I also do not want people attacking people who are still making Forsaken content. And this is especially if you are a Roblox player, of all things. Like, I'm going to say this again, but if you're a Roblox player, and you're calling Forsaken players Predator Defenders or what have you, just keep in mind that you're playing on the platform that has done nothing about people who groom minors, if not actively sabotaging the people who are doing things about it. Forsaken players and Roblox users in general are all going through a very similar moral dilemma, but rather than uniting together due to our similar struggles, we're apparently tearing each other down. Like, that's just shallow, man. That's shallow. So please, respect the people who have decided to stop making Forsaken content, but also please respect the people who decided that they want to continue making Forsaken content. Alright, now off that topic, what other games will I be playing? Well, the ASIM I will be filling in with is Die of Death. Wow, I know, surely you guys didn't see that coming, haha. Who am I kidding, man? You guys probably expected this. A lot of the people who made Forsaken content but are moving off due to all the drama that's happening have all moved to Die of Death. And I'm also doing the same, and there's a few reasons for that. The first one being that Die of Death is probably the closest thing you have to an actual Forsaken replacement. It has a stamina-based movement system, it has survivor and killer abilities, it has a timer-based match system where if the timer runs out, the survivors win, but if the killer kills everyone before it, the killer wins. Of course, I don't enjoy Die of Death personally as much as Forsaken, but, well, it's the closest thing I'll have. I am extremely hyped for Grace to deliver on their next update. It's probably not going to be very recent, which is a shame, but I know that's because the Grace developers have incredibly high expectations for themselves and what they deliver. They were absolutely cooking with the Spread the Love update, so I am absolutely hyped for what they have to offer next. I've also, partially through Grace, found out about Nullscape, and I want to play some Nullscape because Nullscape looks pretty cool. I'm really bad at Nullscape right now, but it's a cool game nonetheless. I'll also probably be playing Pixel Quest. This is the Realm of the Mad God ripoff on Roblox. I genuinely do see potential in it to diverge and do its own thing, but considering that it's trying so hard to appeal to all the Roblox algorithm slop patterns, I'm sort of not very hopeful. Like, I don't know if Jandal talked to them and influenced them heavily, but if he did, they gotta, like, stop. Because weekly updates, okay, I like quicker updates, but you gotta take in mind that, like, good updates take time, and if weekly updates is compromising the quality of the updates, which, considering the initial release state of the Heroes of the Spire dungeon, I definitely think it is, they need to, like, take some more time to, like, actually, like, brew and bake out their updates, rather than rushing it every week because of some slop Roblox algorithm garbage. Also, get this admin abuse admin event off my screen. I'm tired of this. Admin abuse, admin event, admin taking a steamy dump on their toilet. You're giving me PTSD of garbage like Grow a Garden. Stop it! Get this off my screen. Nothing is for certain right now because obviously I don't have infinite foresight. If Forsaken suddenly took an entire 180, things started, like, changing, for the good, obviously, I would absolutely return to Forsaken in a heartbeat. But for the foreseeable future, don't expect Forsaken uploads. You know, I would say my normal stuff, but it feels kind of unfitting for the atmosphere of this video, so honestly, if you're watching this video, I just wish you all the best, man. Like, take care of yourself. I know that a lot of the stuff surrounding Forsaken right now is probably very stressful if you're a Forsaken player, and especially if you're, like, a Forsaken content creator or a developer. So, like, take a break, man. Enjoy yourself. Go outside and have some fresh air. Like, put down your phone, or, like, step away from your computer for a second, like, hell, like, close off your Twitter, hell, maybe even deactivate your account, and just take a deep breath, and just, like, do some stuff you like. and just enjoy yourself, man. Please, take care of yourself. I'm sorry that this is so long, and genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching this.